What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition presented by RSWrestlingNews.com. Link down in the description below. Today we are going to be discussing the saga between Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Part 2. Over Royal Rumble weekend, Seth Rollins was doing an interview with Wrestling Inc. and he was asked about CM Punk, who's up in limbo following the all-out brawl with the Elite. He is on ice reportedly by Tony Khan, and his future is really up in doubt, but he'll be cleared to return to in-ring action should the promotion want to use him in a few months. So, what did Rollins have to say? Well, I'm sure you already know what he said, because he made headlines by calling CM Punk a cancer. He's not a fan of him, and he doesn't want him to come back to the WWE. So, that leads to this week. Rollins was on Convo and Rich. He's been making the media rounds over Super Bowl week, and he was asked about Punk again. And he actually had some interesting little quotes that we're going to go over here in this video. So let's get into it. And I quote, "Well, I don't need to repeat what I said in Chicago. Or what I said about Chicago Phil, excuse me. In an interview last week. If you need to, I'm sure you can Google it. Look, the bottom line is that it's the same thing as Logan Paul. Punk and Paul are two different personalities, but they're both selfish as it comes. If you're not going to help, I don't want you part of our industry. I don't want you part of our company. That is all that there is to that. Here's the thing. I will say one thing about Punk. I'll end it on a positive note with him. That guy has given my career so much that it pains me to have to say bad things about him because he helped me out. He really did. He's been a good guy to me for a lot of my career, but for whatever reason, the past maybe 6 to 7 years, he's in a different headspace, and we're not on the same page. To see what he's kind of done, taken, it's always been about him. I'm not a fan," end quote. Then the host said, "It's a shame that people change. Golly." And Rollins replied, and I quote, "It does, unfortunately. There's a place for him, man. He's got a lot to give. I just wish his head was in the right spot," end quote. Interesting comments by Seth Rollins. I have stated this in the past. I will state this in the future. I don't see CM Punk returning to WWE. It's too much bad blood. If Punk doesn't return to AEW, he's done in pro wrestling. And I think he actually is done in pro wrestling. I think we got our swan song. And it's sad.